This is where the build is going to be a bit different. We're going to take this build here, and we're only going to put one box with one receiver, and of course our input here. This is going to be demanding. We're going to autofill the bots, and this we're actually requesting our graphite. I would say the right thing the first time. So graphite, and then of course the next one's going to be a crude oil. Then we're going to have in, across, in and across, just like that. Let's make it look a little nicer. And in there, across there. And then it looks a little bit more tidy. Then of course we have our output on each one. Here. Just like that. And that's for our 2-lane. For our crystals, it actually takes 3 items. So we won't be able to copy and paste this. At least not here. We'll copy and paste this whole thing, but it's going to be put in a different location. But for right now, this is what we need for this build. We'd use a similar build, I think, for chemicals, I think. No, acid also uses 3. It's the carbon nanotubes that use only 2, and the graphene that uses only 2. So plastic, graphene, and carbon nanotubes all use the exact same build. Of course, the explosive unit, if we had the dark fog going on, we would use this, which would also use 3. But we don't need it, so we didn't research, or we won't research the next level or build this. But we have these 3 that will do. Obviously there's alternatives, which is just 1 here with 2 outputs, and then 1 here, a 1-to-1 ratio input output here that will also build later once we actually get those parts. For now, we are worried about plastic. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to create the blueprint here. Before I forget about it. YouTube run. And this is, we're going to call this 2-lane chemical. Same thing. 2-lane chemical. We're going to get the same icon layout right here, and same process, a signal, 2, and then the building will change to the chemical. And then later we can, once we have the resources, it can be the, I'll fix that because I can't remember where this building area actually is, because it doesn't go in the same place as the oil processing, but it goes here. It goes in this area here, this small area where it starts to actually curve, and then there's like another area here, a little area here, and and then several areas up to the pole. I just can't think of what this area is actually called at the moment. But we've got our 2-lane. So now we can get the plastic going. Put that in place, and same here. Put that in place. We'll build these, and then this is ready to roll just as soon as we get the logistic spots up and going. Then the next resource, we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing. We'll have an input or output. Right here. Then we'll grab our resource. Once again, 1, 2, and 3. We'll put it 10 long. The only difference is this one is going to be 3 long. Or 3 lanes wide. Oh joys. Then, of course, we have this right here, where we only have the 1 at the moment, but we'll fix that here in a little bit. Then, of course, we have proliferation, which is on this line. We'll put our proliferator sprayers all in a row right here. Finish building this line. I guess I can build this other output here. Shorten that up a little bit. And then grab that, and then we have our inputs here and here, just like that. Then we build this last piece. So now we actually need to fly back and grab some more chemical plants so we can finish building this, so it doesn't disrupt our style of blueprinting, or my style of blueprinting anyway. I'm not too worried about using the chemical or grabbing too many chemical plants at the moment, mainly because we'll end up using them either here or elsewhere, because we'll need to do the same thing on the other planet if we haven't already, which I'm pretty sure we have. 2, 3, and there we go. That now has that. Now we need power. And at this point, once again, because if you actually end up expanding it, we'll put one there, and we'll put one here. At each junction. Thus making sure that everything is covered in a power field. And then of course we need here and here. Same thing. They're going to be delivering. And then this, of course, is now going to be making our organic crystals. So we need one line that's pulling the plastic back up. Which we will put here. Once again. Right here. Give that that. That's going to be demanding that. Obviously, we're making the blueprint first. So, we'll do this. So it's this line all the way down and across. Just like that. As we don't need that right now, we are good to go. So we're going to do two things. We're going to build this ILS, or sorry, PLS, right here. No, actually, yes. We're going to build that somewhere. We're going to build that, say, a little bit off, but say right there. Then we're going to have a lane 1 come out here, connect here. And then same thing, lane 1 come out here and connect there. With our lane 1 being refined oil, which we're going to leave in the supply. And then of course we also need the power of the PLS. And max that out. That's going to be option 1. So now that we didn't put our pieces here, we'll have to update this one too. Oh, jeez. So in this one, we're doing 1, 2, and 3. Same thing on this one, only slightly different. We're going to go 2, 1, and 3. That way, each one grabs that. Unfortunately, this is the only building, this one and the quantum chemical plant, that can build on one side and access 3 lanes. Everything else you have to do some fancier stuff with. But let's re-grab this here once again, and then get out. Now that that's set properly, now we can set the recipe and drag it across. The reason why I try to get them as blank blueprints, because that way you can put the buildings and stuff down, and then you can actually then go and choose what you want to be, and you don't have to erase the recipe and reset it. And then that way also, that if you have these being auto-built, you don't have to hurry and delete them before it starts pulling in resources if you have it already up and going. Alternatively, you can create one for each new recipe that you're doing. I just think that it's easier just to have the basic blueprints for each one rather than a blueprint for each item. It just makes it easier in my mind. Now, the water pumps here that we had grabbed earlier. We're going to bring them across, and I think that is all we need for a full line. We can always add more later. That's not a problem. And then same thing, we're just going to grab this, we're going to bring it out a little bit, and then we're going to bring this all the way over and in to the PLS. And then this is also going to come out of the PLS into that section, just to kind of keep it somewhat clean. And it will also allow this water line to actually to provide to anything else that we may want to take water to. Eventually we can kind of get rid of this and produce it elsewhere rather than here, but for now this will work. And then this one we'll just put every couple of spots here to provide water, and of course then put the water up, and that's going to shove it across. Okay, so it's not quite a full belt of water. All honesty, I'm not too worried about it. Because by the time this filling up and this gets activated, this is going to be completely full anyway. And later on, we can add more to this line to finish filling it off. For now, this works. It's all we need to care about. This is going to be demanding plastic. That is already set. So we'll just come down here to the end and set it so it actually grabs it as it's produced. So this is going to be providing plastic. This one is going to be providing organic crystals. Which brings us to our next build down here for yellow science, where we are building yellow science. Titanium crystals, because that's what we need the organic crystals for. So titanium crystals take 2 inputs. So we're going to take this exact same build here that we had made earlier in our 2-lane production. And we're going to just plop that down right here. And start building. So this obviously is going to be grabbing our organic crystals, and this is going to be grabbing the titanium. And we'll just go ahead and mark this up while we're at it, so it's at a glance easy to see when it doesn't have anything in it. And titanium. And then we'll go along and continue to build this. And then same thing, we're going to come down here, we're going to set the recipe from here to this here, just like that. And then grab all of that, just like that. And voila. Oh, and then of course we'll need to set this to providing organic crystal, or titanium crystals, sorry, not organic. This will be set to provide magnetic coils, and then of course the circuit boards, so they actually go places that are in need of them later. Not something that needs to be done now, that's just later. While we're at it, we're going to build that there and this here, because we're going to demand more of those. And this is then of course going to demand high purity silicon, which apparently I hadn't set to grab. Also fill that up, and high purity silicon right here. So that's going to go off and grab some of the high purity silicon that's going there. We're not limiting these because we want these to be at full capacity just as soon as humanly possible. Here, so now that we've got that, that is our first 3 sciences going. Our next is our purple science, where we need to build even more stuff. Yay! Alrighty. Let's see here. First, let's get some of our stuff going, because we want to have this science producing while we're at it. We need those. Those are producing these. We need those in different areas, so I'll take these 2. And I'll just dump them in there for now. And we'll just let that build. And we'll take these, and we're gonna go put them places.